What is up, boys? It's your boy Hammer Baby, back at it again with another video, and today we are talking about the top 5 One Piece Luffy specifically moments. That's right, Luffy as the character, the individual, the GOAT of One Piece, the captain of the crew. We're going to be talking about 5 of his, what I believe is his coolest or most epic moments ever in the show, ever. Spoilers ahead. This is going to be covering the entire series, right? This is going to be covering basically from as early as I can remember and then to up until almost recent. Now, once again, spoilers, getting it out here. If you don't want to watch this, click off this video. But there will be spoilers for top 5 Luffy moments. Now, this is in order from his 5th, which is like his 5th coolest moment in the entire series, right? He's done a lot of cool shit. But it's from number 5 all the way up to number 1, which I believe is his coolest moment in the show. And obviously, along the way, there will be an honorable mention, maybe 1, maybe 2. Without further ado, let's get this video. You know, grab a bucket of popcorn, grab your snacks, get ready. Let's get this shit. Milo's already chilling. Now, number 5. Luffy's 5th coolest moment in the show, and we're already starting out with a banger. And once again, spoilers ahead, but this is episode 151 of One Piece, and it is Bellamy's absolute fuckery, like just complete and utter just destruction. All right, now little context. This is Sky Island arc. I know a lot of people didn't watch Sky Island arc, but this was like pre-Sky Island arc, so a lot of people know about Bellamy. But basically, he has his powers of these, like the spring fruit, and it allows him to basically make his body into coils and, you know, make him really strong. And essentially, Bellamy was talking a whole lot of shit. He has a 55 million berry at the time. This was because he shows up later on in the show, but at the time, he had a 55 million berry, and he was like, oh, I'm the rookie, the GOAT rookie, the big time, whatever the hell his name was. And basically, he was talking that shit in the pub on that island where Nolan's family was, like Nolan and all that shit. And he was talking that shit. And then eventually, he goes and like beats up Luffy's friend, the Nolan guy. I'm forgetting because it's all from memory. But he goes and beats up that guy. And so, the night where Luffy is going to take the knock-up stream to get to Sky Island, Luffy fucking runs to the other side of the island and goes and confronts this bitch, right? And this guy's like, all right, let's take it outside. Let's get going. Let's fight, right? And so the fight begins, and this is where Bellamy's utter destruction does. So Bellamy starts flexing his fruit, you know, because he can just bounce around, fly around. Basically, nobody can stop him because he's going super fast. He's flying around, bouncing around, trying to scare Luffy. And all Luffy does is he just stands there while Bellamy talks his shit, flies around. Luffy just stands there like the absolute gangster he is. He raises up one fist into the air. He's just standing there with his fist up. Bellamy's still bouncing around and all this shit. And then just straight up, bang, straight down onto Bellamy's head, knocking the dude clean out in one punch. A complete and utter destruction. Honestly, when this happened, this was like peak Luffy moment in the series thus far. Like, he's obviously had his cool moments, you know, all the other arcs, Alabasta, all that shit. He's had his cool moments, but this was just him showing that he deserves that 100 million berry bounty. Alright, boys. Now, we get to number 4. Luffy's 4th coolest accomplishment moment, anything in One Piece. And in my number 4, once again, this is all my personal preference. Let me know what you guys think. If I missed something, if I didn't include something you want, you know, something you think that should have been in here. But this is all what I think. This is what I remember. And number 4 has to go to Luffy declaring war against the world government in Water 7 arc. This happens in episode 284 of the anime. And what happens is, obviously, once again, just a little bit of a recap. Robin has been kidnapped by the world government because she's Robin, Nico Robin, and she's survivor of Ohara, and they know a lot about certain stuff. Mainly, the main reason is she can read poneglyphs, right? And they can't be having someone that can read poneglyphs and all that around. And so what ends up happening is she gets captured, kidnapped, and taken to Water 7, which is, well, from Water 7 they go to Enies lobby. So this actually happens in Enies lobby, but on Crunchyroll it's all considered the same arc. Water 7, Enies lobby. Anyway, enough chatting. What happens is Eventually, they get to the top of one of the towers of Enies lobby, and Robin is on the Enies lobby proper tower, and they're on the other tower. And up top is the entire crew of Luffy's crew, and up there is obviously the GOAT, Sogeking. And Luffy is there with Sogeking, and what ends up happening is a whole bunch of monologuing happens, and Luffy's just like, shut up! I don't care about none of these monologues or nothing. He's like, hey, Sogeking, can you aim a fire bullet or whatever? It was like something that caught on fire. And he was like, can you aim it at that flag that's on the top of the building? And at the top of the building is the world government flag. And to shoot a hole through the world government flag is essentially declaring war against the government, right? This is one of those moments where it shows Luffy means business. He is not here to fuck around. He declared war against the whole world government just so he could have Nico and Robin join his crew, right? He values her that much. Him and his friends are ride or dies to the max, and he chose to go against the whole entire world government just for one of his crew members. This is one of those moments that just solidifies Luffy as a god tier captain, a god tier Nakama, a god tier friend. He's just that good. He declared war against the world just so he could get Robin to join his crew, just so he could hear her say, I want to live, right? And that is why this is on number 4. And if you enjoyed the video so far, please drop a like, drop a sub. You know, if you're into anime, if you're into the One Piece, I'm going to be making a series about this. You know, just please sub. I'm a small channel and it will help out a lot. Anyway, back to the video. Now, number 3. So, for number 3, we are taking a very big jump into the future, and we're going all the way to 1 Hour arc, and you probably already can see this coming, and it is none other than Luffy's Gear 5 transformation. That's right, Luffy with his Gear 5 transformation. This happens in episode 1071, Luffy's peak attained, Gear 5. And in this episode, we basically just get a giant, like, just a whole episode of amazing animation, and Luffy attaining the Gear 5, him transformation, his transformation. I can't fucking speak right now. We get his transformation, all the new looks at his powers, the drums of liberation we hear for the first time. We see his epic form, the clouds, the way he moves, everything. We see everything for the first time, and this moment broke the internet when everybody found out Luffy had the power of the sun god Nika. And this actually broke the internet. This was insane. It was so good. It's amazing. I mean, it has to be on top 5 Luffy moments so far in the series. By the time the series ends, there's probably going to be way cooler shit, but this has to be this is my number 3 moment. It's just that cool. When it happened, the whole world went crazy for it, and it was like, goddamn, it's just so sick. I was like, this is like peak Luffy moment. I mean, it's literally called Luffy's peak. The episode 1071 is called Luffy's peak. So now for number 2, we're actually going to go way back. So we're doing a bit of a jump, right? We're going from all the way from the front all the way to the back. We're going way back to Summit War arc. Now on Crunchyroll it's called Summit War, but technically it's the Sabandy Archipelago arc. I don't know how to say it. Is it Sabandy or Shabandy? Sabandy, Sabandy, something like that. But Sabandy Archipelago, I'm just gonna say it like that, all right? And in that arc, now this is the specific episode I'm referring to, is episode 400, where they meet Rayleigh for the first time, and Rayleigh gives them the whole rundown about the Grand Line and the One Piece. Now, why is this episode so significant? You're probably wondering. Once again, something that I value a lot is Luffy and his dedication to finding the One Piece, even though for most of the time they've never confirmed that the One Piece is real. And they don't even know if they're going to the right place. They're just following the log pose. They're just doing as the thing goes. And so during this conversation with Rayleigh, he exposes a lot of stuff about the world, about the Grand Line, about how to find the One Piece. But towards the end of the conversation, Usopp goes up and asks him, oh, so wait, do you know where the One Piece is? And right as he was about to ask him, where is the One Piece? Luffy steps up and screams, Usopp! He just screams it. And then he goes on this whole monologue where he's like, I don't want to know if the treasure's real. I don't even want to know where it is. I don't want to know anything about it. It is our journey to find it. And this moment lives so rent-free in my head. That's why I have it at number 2, because it shows, even with the uncertainty, if the One Piece is real, if they know how to get there, if they even going the right way, this is Luffy's journey. This is him and his friend's journey, and he could have had the easy way out. He was speaking to the right-hand man of the king of the pirates, and he could have been like, oh yeah, just tell us where to go, we'll get it. He could have been like that. But no, he stopped his crewmate and he said, this is our journey. We will figure it out ourselves. We don't take the easy way out, because we are going to become the king of the pirates the right way. And this moment is so peak. I don't think it's talked about nearly enough. This moment is amazing. It's so good. It is literally, that's why it's number 2 on my list of top 5 Luffy moments. It's just that fucking badass. Like, I love it. And honestly, once you get to episode 400 and you see this whole entire episode, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like, it's just that sick, bro. Come on. Fucking amazing episode. Second greatest Luffy moment in the show, and we just went from Gear 5 transformation to here. So that's number 2. Now I'm gonna give an honorable mention before number 1, because we're kind of flying through this video, and also there's probably a bunch of moments where people have are like, where's this, where's that, where's this, where's that. So we're gonna go back to Sabaody, and obviously I'm just gonna speed run this round, but there is when Luffy punches the celestial dragon in the face. That is obviously a very big moment in the show, but I don't believe it is as big as him quite literally declaring war against the world government. But he did punch a celestial dragon, but he got away with it basically. But that happens. There's also another thing that I also am just gonna group all together, is all of Luffy's Conqueror's Haki moments or feats. So I believe the first time you see him use Conqueror's Haki is actually in Amazon Lily, which is right after the Sabaody arc. I believe it's in Amazon Lily, and in Amazon Lily he's like fighting, and then he uses the Conqueror's Haki, and that's like the first time you see, I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that's the first time you see him use it. And obviously there's that, which alerts people that he can, it alerts Hancock that he can use Conqueror's Haki. But then there's obviously the Summit War arc. He uses the Conqueror's Haki there, alerts everyone there that he has the ability to use Conqueror's Haki. And then further past that, obviously after his training arc and all that, comes back Water 7 arc, not Water 7, my bad, Fishman Island arc. He knocks out over half that crowd of fishmen with his Conqueror's Haki blast. Fucking badass. And then it just keeps going, because he's obviously got his Conqueror's Haki clash with Doflamingo. Conqueror's Haki, like learning his Conquerors against like in 1 hour and using it, like, well, Rio using it in his battle with Kaido and Big Mom, and he's got a bunch of Conqueror's Haki moments. But that's why I'm grouping it all into one as an honorable mention. But I don't think that it is his coolest thing, because he does it all the time and it is very cool to see. But I don't think it's his number 1 coolest thing he did. And I have a feeling a lot of you know what number 1 is. But anyway, let's just get to it. And now, time for number 1. And the number 1 coolest Luffy moment in One Piece so far. And I think that this, once again, personally, number 1 goes to episode 10-15, the one, the only, Luffy's entrance into the battle against Kaido and Big Mom. And this entrance plus what he does after, it just shivers down your spine, constant, and it is just so badass. For the context, we get this entire episode with Yamato. We get this entire episode with Yamato, and Yamato backstory with Ace, right? And Ace saying, one day my little brother will pull up to your island and he will free you guys. He will free you guys of Kaido. And he was saying that, oh, my brother is going to become the king of the pirates. And obviously we know Yamato is like Odin, and Odin was on the king of the pirates crew. And basically Yamato, seeing in Odin's memory, sees that Luffy is like Roger. And obviously there's so many similarities between them, but Luffy and Roger, and boom, we get the amazing animation. Obviously then it fucking rips out our hearts like One Piece does, and then shows the freaking waving that dying ace, what's it called, River card or whatever the hell it's called. And you know, One Piece just does that. It has to take you to soul crushing depths, because that's just the type of shit Oda be on. And then comes back, Luffy busts open the door, walks out, Kaido, Big Mom, boom, just there, all the worst generation there. You got Law, you got Kid, you got Zoro, you got Killer, they're all up there. And then my guy Luffy has the fucking balls to just straight up tilt down his hat and walk straight past Kaido and Big Mom in front of their face. He just walks straight past them. Goes straight past them. Goes straight up to Kinemon, the Akazaya. He goes up to them, and then he's just like, don't worry, gang. Kinemon obviously was fighting Kaido, and they got destroyed. But he goes up to Kinemon, picks him up. And then Kinemon says, while he looks like he's dying, he's not really dying, spoilers, but while he's dying, he's like, can you carry the land of Wano on your back? And then Luffy's like, of course, because it's my friend's country. Like, of course he said that. And then Kaido's like, oh, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you now. Tries to swing on him, and he's like, Trafalgar, move them all downstairs. Then Law hits him with the wham, the Shamburus, and then the fucking Luffy dodges the attack, jumps in the air, and hits him with the fat fucking red rock. It's just so badass, because earlier on in the show, in 1 hour arc, Luffy couldn't damage Kaido because he didn't have advanced conquerors. But then when he went to the prison, he learned Rio from the old guy, and now he had the ability to damage Kaido. Because Big Mom, before they attacked the Red Rock, he was like, wait, Kaido, that's not a normal attack. Dodge that, because he has advanced. He has Conqueror's Haki coding. It's just absolute peak. Greatest thing, we get Luffy, we get the OG intro, the we are on the cruise. While that's all happening, he said, what were you going to say in front of me again? He said, my name's Monkey D. Luffy. I'm the guy who's going to become King of the Pirates. Like, this is just the coolest scene in One Piece. It just shivers down your spine. You can rewatch that scene right fucking now. Go episode 10-15. Even if you haven't read or watched the show up to that point, just go watch that scene, and it is just straight fucking badass. It's just that good. It's just that fucking good. Anyway, boys, that's gonna be it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed, and once again, if you enjoyed, be sure drop a like, drop a sub. You know, if you're into One Piece content, sub up, boys. I'm gonna make next one coming out is gonna be Zoro. Top 5 Zoro moments, because shit, Zoro could have 10. You know, if you don't know me, Zoro is my favorite character in One Piece, and that one's gonna be a tough one because he has a lot of fucking badass moments. So yeah. Anyway, boys, that's gonna be it for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Laters, boys. See ya. Bye. Bye bye.